think, I was listening to somebody who had a loved one in the hospital. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was involved in getting 3 people out of hospitals that were literally being stuck on remdesivir and ventilators. And I got some folks involved on the medical side, Synergy Health, Dr. Artis, another lady, they all helped get these people out. It was like we saved lives. Literally, we saved 3 lives. One was a 30-year-old firefighter, another two. Anyway, I digress. But one of them was telling his sister, and I'm going to have him on the show, that he watched them just take body bag after body bag after body bag out of what was called the COVID wing. And the nurses were telling him, these are people that had the jab and went in there with COVID symptoms and then were put on remdesivir and the ventilator. And he just, and at one point his family was in there and they saw body bags. And so they put all these pictures up on a window for him to look in one direction. So they couldn't get to the other window because they weren't allowed in the room. And they were hoping that he wouldn't look, and they're like, yeah, no, we've already seen it. He's like, I've seen it all. I've seen how many body bags they've carted out of here. This is what they're doing, and they're covering it up. So this is where we need to go and get that kind of information out. It's awful, but it has to happen. It's like the Holocaust. It is the Holocaust on steroids.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are exposing this stuff, but just like you're going to bring up, and we can continue to expose this stuff, but until people they get hit personally, like Fauci, we're like screaming. Fauci is like, started the Wuhan lab, funded with taxpayer expense, and it didn't get people riled up until they saw the dogs getting, mistreated. So like, what does it take? It's like human beings, that doesn't get your attention, but the dogs get your attention, whatever it takes, So we're going to find whatever it takes to fire people up, whatever it is, and then we're going to hit that, and we're going to hit that, and we're going to hit that, and we're going to fire people up. We're going to fire them up until they're ready to take down these bad people. So we know they have lots of, guillotines everywhere. So I think a lot of them are going to be used here pretty soon. So I think court systems, people like the lawyers we talked about that are getting kicked out of the system, the judges that are getting kicked out of the system, we start our own system. And at some point, these guys are gonna pay, and it could be town to town to town, city to city to city. We start these new, judicial systems, because it's not going to come from the federal government. Because like Scott, like you said, when you drove through, the place is a ghost town. There's nothing there, and it takes the citizens, standing up, starting the revolution, and getting our country back. It's going to be like that. It's going to be ugly. I don't think it's going to be easy. And until people really get fired up, it's going to continue to drag along. We're going to talk about these horror stories, and everybody's going to be like, oh, this is so sad, it's so bad, and because we told a lot of people to enjoy the show, eat your popcorn, but there's a point where the popcorn gets thrown on the floor and you jump up and you go to work. So I think we're right at that point right now.
I agree.
Well, I know the idea of the guillotines, that's so alluring based on what these people have done, but I got to stick to my my human ascension, my spiritual ascension. I don't want to go into that low frequency of guillotine people. And I think to myself, how do we get through this? And I already posed this to you, Mike, so Ann, I'll pose it to you too. I think it's the most brilliant solution we come up with. We got to eliminate all these people from the planet. We put together a big Gitmo petting zoo. We put them all in this petting zoo, and we get to come and put change in a little candy corn container. Here comes Nancy Pelosi. Look, she's over there starving, haggled. Let's feed her. We get all these criminals that did all this horrible shit. Now we just go on family vacations to the Gitmo petting zoo, so we can see all these horrible criminals. We can feed them. We can throw water at them and do all this fun stuff. There's a way out of this for everybody.
You know what? Actually,
you're so compassionate. That's good.
Think of what the stockades did.
Well, but I mean, it allows you to see who the criminals are, where you can actually see them. And if you have animosity towards them, you can say whatever you want towards them. You won't be able to get at them, but they certainly can't get out of there. And I think that's interesting. They should all definitely be on their own island. They should definitely be on their own island to live amongst themselves, because, I feel sorry for the people who have to babysit that garbage, because that's just babysitting demons down there. That's a rough job. I wouldn't sign up for that. But yeah, that's interesting. I like that. Or just stick them on Bezos, whatever, Blue Origin, and just blast them off into space and send them out there. Let them build their own space station to live on. I don't know. all